Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Coach Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Wednesday, November 24th, a day before Thanksgiving. I want to wish all of you guys a happy Thanksgiving one day in advance. Hope you got a great day planned. Stephanie and I, we're going to be getting up about 8 o'clock. Well, actually, we'll be there at 8 o'clock. Got a turkey trot. Of course, that is the Thanksgiving phenomenon. In the sport of running, all the local turkey trots out there usually raising money for a great cause. Ours raises money for a local food pantry, so we're happy to participate. And really, the race is a great race every year. A lot of people down there getting Thanksgiving started, trying to burn the calories early because you know they're coming later on in the day, right? It is not a day for the MyFitnessPal. Tomorrow. Keep the MyFitnessPal down. We've been talking about that on recent podcasts, but we always say, like, if your diet starts going out of whack and you need to kind of figure out where you need to improve, use the MyFitnessPal, learn, figure it out, or just keep track on a daily basis. Try to keep yourself honest. And tomorrow, put it away. Just put it away. Let the food stack. Let it pile nice and high. Get the gravy, right? You don't want to have to measure the gravy and then pour. Oh, what's half cup of? I can only have a quarter cup, 3 teaspoons of gravy. No, just pour it on top. Just pour it on top. Go for seconds. Go for thirds. Have some pie. Have some wine. Whatever it is. Make sure you're overage. Make sure you're not driving. You know the way. But I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Hope you celebrate with family and have a really good day. We're primed for a nice, fun day here as well tomorrow. So best of luck to you guys. Now, I understand it has been a few weeks now since the last podcast, so thank you for your patience. I don't do apologies when this happens. It's not really planned. It's just sort of like things get in the way and obstacles, and we get busy on some stuff, and it is what it is. It happens, and occasionally we have these little lulls where the podcast doesn't come out. We do have a lot of guests lined up. They'll be coming out in the next few weeks. Hopefully we'll get to use our new studio. We have another in-studio guest we'd like to bring on soon. But again, I know that it's been a few weeks since our last one, so I just want to thank you guys for sticking with us. I especially want to thank all you guys that are patrons from patreon.com/ordinary marathon, ordinary marathoner. You guys keep us in business. Now we redid our studio space here, but this is also the first podcast that I'm doing from my new desk. I gotta be honest, you can't even see the desk. I mean, I could change the camera angle, not that it matters. But this is a little bland behind me. Maybe I need some graphics up here or something. I don't know. We got to do something about this background. The lighting may be a little bit too much here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But again, we can't do any of this stuff without your help from you guys that signed up over at Patreon. Patrons from Patreon. Is that like a tongue twister? I don't know. But we haven't done a podcast in a few weeks now, and we haven't lost any of you guys. So I do want to thank you for your patience, and we'll be putting out some really good podcasts in the weeks to come. Some with guests, some not. Anyway, other things that are different. I took off the headphones. I grew up. I'm trying to, go without having to hear every word in my ear and test the sound quality as we go, hoping that the equipment just sort of works. And also, hey, the hoodie, the Ordinary Marathoner Foundation hoodie. We put out for some pre-orders on that, and you guys came through. We needed to get 50. We ordered 52. So thank you guys for helping us out and ordering the hoodies online. I mailed them all out. Got the last one out yesterday. That's another one of the things been taking up our time. I'm not really good at mailing stuff. But it is like a process, and I finally got it down. And by the time I got it down, I got the last one shipped out. So it was great that you guys could participate in that and help us out and help the foundation. The foundation is doing great. We're going to do a whole little segment on that and bring you up to date on that in a few minutes. What else do I got? I got to tell you, I'm a little bit lost for words when it comes to where the podcast ended up. I mean, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast in the morning, and now that we've gone a few weeks without having a podcast, and some of the last ones that we did were interviews. I don't remember where we kind of left the story, and I know, we had Carla and Connie McCollum on a few months ago. and they ran the Boston Marathon. Stephanie and I went down there to watch them run. We met them. I feel like we did talk about that, but again, I'm not 100% sure. Just not there. It's just not there. But we did. We saw Carla and Connie. We saw a whole lot of people from prior podcasts out there running. Kat Morrissey. We saw Jill Murphy, who worked with me on the on our run program for the Ordinary Marathoner Foundation. We hope to have her in the podcast studio as a guest in the next coming weeks. BJ Williams out there running. We saw the Pease brothers, Kyle and Brent, pushing the cart, man, at Cleveland Circle over the what do you call it? Over the tracks, the railroad tracks. There, it's tough to do, man. But watching you guys maneuver out there was really cool to see. I was like, I know them. Martinez Evans out there, also 300 pounds of running out there. I didn't see Martinez out there running. I didn't even know until afterwards, but congratulations, Martinez, on getting that done. Also, not to be left out of the conversation, we had a couple people running from the community, running the virtual Boston. We had Aaron Shepard and Angela Fillmore, both of them running the virtual Boston. And I give it to you guys for supporting the race and getting that done. I'm a big proponent of the virtual races, and I think especially in this year, when you're supporting races that they have been sort of savaged by rescheduling and postponement and cancellations and lower, being forced to lower the fields of the race. I mean, they're struggling from prior in comparison to prior years because they don't get the race entry fees because they're forced to admit less people and overcome all these impediments in the way. It's nice to see people supporting them by actually running a full marathon, unsupported, no aid stations, no giant finish line or big crowds there out there for cheering you guys on, and yet you still got it done. So, I give you guys all credit on those. Congratulations. Well worth it. And then we had the New York City Marathon. Keith Jones out there. I saw Keith Jones met up with Tishan Laws. Tishan volunteered down at the New York City Marathon. I always love when I see people from our community sort of getting together somehow, meeting in real life. In this case, it was a great picture you guys posted. I'm glad you guys had a chance to meet out in New York at the marathon. Congratulations, Keith. Also, congratulations to Brooke and Jeremy Farrington, brothers and sisters. We both had them both on the podcast at different times in the past. They do this race every year. It's like clockwork with them. Very consistent. They always get it done. Great job out there. And Brooke, I know Brooke's married. I feel like I do this every year. Her name is now Cooper Smith, I think. And apologies to Bryce. I don't want Bryce mad at me. He's a cop. I don't want him mad at me. But great job getting out there and getting it done year after year at the New York City Marathon. And lastly, Philadelphia Marathon happened last week. And this one turned out to be a big one. Now, number one, this was the race that we were going to do as a group it was going to be kind of like a group meetup race. We registered for this race last year, and it didn't get run. COVID happened, and I guess they offered refunds, and a lot of people took them, and we never really rescheduled this one. I actually didn't take the refund, and I just rolled my registration this year, and then I just didn't go because I didn't train, which is kind of on me. I had second thoughts kind of towards the end of whether or not I wanted to try to put something together or just try to go and walk a marathon. That I decided that wasn't smart, and I just stayed home. What really made me upset that I stayed home was that one of the good friends of the podcast, Tishan Laws, who's been a member of our community for years, one of the nicest, most supportive guys. We've had him on as a guest on the podcast, and he's one of the members of our advisory committee, our advisory board for the charity. Always has a kind word for everybody else, and I had him on the podcast, I want to say a year ago, but honestly, again, my memory is not so good, so it's like give or take like 3 years. Had him on and asked him point blank. What I do remember asking him point blank or trying to talk him into doing a full. There was no interest. It seemed like he was pretty set. Half was his distance, nothing beyond that. Yet over the summer, I started watching him, and all of a sudden, Tishan doing training runs that are a little bit longer than 13.1. What's going on here? 14, 15, 18, 20 milers. And finally, I said, listen, T-Shawn, I'm so sorry, man. You must have made the announcement that you're doing the Philadelphia Marathon. I didn't notice it. I haven't been very supportive. I haven't been there to like cheer you on, but man, I'm rooting for you. And he said, no, I just started training and I figured let's start training for this thing and see where it takes me. And so he did. And he followed the training. And the next thing you know, he's doing 20-mile training runs and he's doing the full. And I tell you, that picture of T-Shawn, by the way, I signed up the Philadelphia Marathon. Horrible job with their app. I put in your name to get your tracking information, and it said they were going to send me text. They sent me one text, right? They sent me one text telling me that they were going to send me future texts, and then never sent me another one. I had to go online and like follow you online. It was terrible. But anyway, the one picture of you crossing that finish line with your arms up. That's just worth it, man. That is just worth it. And, you know, when you watch someone be so supportive of other people through the years and then to accomplish something they never thought they could do, it's moving. And it really, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud as a friend. I'm proud of you. And, great job out there. It's just really great to see. You're an inspiration. And I hope a lot of people were able to kind of take that in for you, because I thought we actually, in the day after the marathon, I asked T-Shawn how he's doing. He said, man, I'm still feeling great. I can't believe I'm a marathoner. So we made it Happy T-Shawn Laws Day, which was, I believe, on Monday, this past Monday. So congratulations, T-Shawn, well earned. And I think, man, it's just one of the great moments of making my year, seriously, with our group. It just makes me proud of you. All right, let's move on a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the charity. I want to talk about the Ordinary Marathoner Foundation. We've done a lot this year, and we've got a lot coming up, and I think it's some things that need to be discussed. So we started the foundation earlier this year. So we're in our first year, and I want to thank all of you guys who donated. Really kind of blind, just knowing who we are as people, and getting involved, and just knowing and trusting that we were going to do the right things. And I got to tell you, we have 2 programs off the ground this year, and I think the first challenge that I think hit us smack in the face was we had all these ideas of things that we could do, but then trying to get them off the ground and get them implemented was harder than it looked, and harder than we thought. We're like, oh, we have this money, let's go do good things. And then we just hit some obstacles. So, we did have programs in mind for some other, we probably had a total of like 3 or 4, maybe 5 programs in mind to move forward and try to implement. But it's like throwing darts at a board. You're just kind of like, eventually you're going to hit the bullseye on some of these things. We got 2 programs implemented, and I tell you, getting those implemented were a lot of work. Let's start with the first one, which was our run clinic for kids. Now, Steph and I were talking about, we were kind of wondering where to go with this program, and we had this idea to develop a run clinic for kids, and we wanted to bring it to all kinds of neighborhoods, and we want to have the thing expand to many different neighborhoods. And where do we start? And so we're in the diner one day, and we're having this conversation, and we wind up talking to a guy. By the way, the diner is Coffee Time in East Longmeadow. They make excellent BLTs if you're ever there. And if you pass it, stop in, get the BLT, tell Beth I sent you, and it's good. You'll enjoy it. Anyway, we're sitting there eating the BLTs, and we wind up talking to this guy, and it turns out that he works for the Department of Recreation. So we told him our plan about a run clinic, and he said, I know who you got to talk to. He gave us the name. We wound up having a conversation with a woman named Christine Foster, and together with Christine and the people at 4Run3, Jill Murphy, the aforementioned Jill Murphy and Tim Murphy, we sat down, we created this program, we made the logistics happen, and the next thing you know, I got a whistle around my neck, and 40 kids are staring up at me, ready to learn, ready to train for their first 5K. Most of them their first 5K. There were a couple of them that had done it already. And I got to tell you, one of the things that I noticed about this clientele, let's say, and a lot of the feedback I got from parents, and this was something I hadn't even thought of, was that there are a lot of kids out there who, for whatever reason, don't like or don't have any interest in playing team sports. And it might be a peer pressure issue, or it might be some sort of performance expectation issue, or they're fear, or whatever it may be. They just don't have any interest or desire to play in team sports. This was a perfect avenue for them, the running. Perfect avenue for them because it's all on them. And on top of it, not only was it all on them to show up and run and do their best, but their friends were there. And their performance doesn't affect their friends' performance. And a lot of them, they would just decide to run together, no matter what the speed. And the good thing was, or the interesting thing was, that they don't all run the same speed. That one person's faster, one person's slower, but they all find a way to do it together. And it was just great for them. Otherwise, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be home. They're going to be on their iPads. They're going to be on their laptops. They're going to be watching YouTube. They're going to be playing video games. These were kids out and running and hanging out with their friends. Kids who normally may not have been doing that. So it was a great experience in that way. On top of that, Jill is a math teacher, along with working at the run store that they own, and very familiar with curriculum building and following the curriculum and developing a curriculum. And that is what we did here. We didn't simply just kind of show up on Saturdays with whistles and blow the whistle and tell the kids to run, and that was the way we were going to get them ready. Every single day that we practiced had a reason, had a lesson, had a plan. We wrote these plans down there. Now we actually have the document as part of a curriculum, and we're going to use that document. That document will be shared with anyone who wants to implement a program like this in your neighborhood. You may consult with us if you like. You may just kind of just ask me for the program. I'm happy to hand it to you. Here is our program. Use it as you like. It doesn't cost nothing. Don't cost nothing. But we took a lot of time to put it together, and it's there. And it's there for you guys to use if you want to implement this in your program, if you want to consult with us, if you want to discuss it. We already have a nibble. And what's great is the nibble overlaps from one of the program ideas we've already had, which was to develop a track team for a deaf and hard of hearing school that Erin Shepard, who's also on our advisory committee, she works at in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. So she saw us doing this kids program, and she said, hey, I haven't really gotten anything off the ground with what I wanted to do, but this looks like I can take this and overlay it to my idea. And now, boom, now we have our program, our Run Clinic curriculum being used at a deaf and hard of hearing school starting in the spring as they train for their 5K, which will raise money for their own cause, which is just amazing. And I think about kind of how that structure got put together and how we got those pieces put together. And man, this is what happens when you sit down and you decide, I'm going to put some time into doing something good, and it affects people in a really good way. And really, you just got to get out there and you got to make it happen. You have to do the job. And so I'm so proud that we were able to do that and put that clinic together. One of the proudest moments, I think, we're sitting there the last practice before our race. And Jill's husband, Tim, was there watching the practice. He was helping us out that day. We were sort of doing a mock race. That was that was the theme, I guess, for that last day of practice. And the kids are doing a loop of a little over a half a mile, and they keep going around and around and around. Some of them with friends, some of them by themselves, depending on how they want to do it. It's all up to them. And Tim's comment was like, you guys started with like 35, 40 kids, and they're all here. Like, nobody quit. And I'm like, no, I don't know of any kid that quit this program. I think they all showed up on race day too. Even if it was raining, they all showed up. Most of them showed up when they could for practice. They didn't take days off. They all showed up. We even got some extra kids there at times. And Tim said, well, not only did they show up and not only are they running, like you got these kids to run, but they're running through this lap. And every time they go through, they're all smiling. They're all having a great time. And I thought to myself, man, that makes it worthwhile. Like, that alone just makes it worthwhile. That not only were we able to get these kids to run and participate, be healthy, it's good for them physically, it's good for them mentally, it's good to get them off the couch, but they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. And I think that was something that really hit home. And of course, the race day was amazing. We set up a tent. I watched some of these kids cross the finish line, beaming, getting their medals, just smiling ear to ear, so proud of themselves for what they did. And man, this is just something it was a great program. And I'm so thankful we were kind of able to get this up off the ground. And I really hope that we're going to be able to kind of disperse it out to other communities as well and spread it around and get other communities involved. It would be really great. Moving on to our second program. Our second program put together by Dr. Scott Frossard. I love saying that. Our autistic Dr. Scott Frossard / Ironman / creator of the Running for Autism program. we got that going in Pflugerville, Texas. Now, that program was another one where we thought it was going to be fairly easy to get it off the ground. It was fairly expensive, comparatively speaking. The Run Clinic, little cost, it helps a lot of kids. The Autism Clinic, the Running for Autism program, very cash intensive, but helping one person. Either way, both of them worthwhile. We isolated, that sounds terrible. We discovered, we got our first participant through an application process, and we found a great kid, Jonah Popovich. He's been training about 5 months now with a trainer, Brianna Rolling from Sega Multisport in Texas. They've been training now for 5 or 6 months. His goal race was a 5K. He will be running that race tomorrow. I have kind of tried to stay at arm's length as the executive director of the nonprofit. I want to know what's going on. I want to know, but it's also this is Scott's program. I kind of give him the autonomy to run it as he sees fit, and he's done an amazing job. And all the feedback I've gotten was that this kid is ready to go, ready to race tomorrow. And man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see a smile on his face. I cannot wait to see him cross that finish line. Even furthermore, we were contacted by a news reporter from the area, and they're going to do like a video report on Jonah, on Scott, on the Autism Connection, on Scott's finishing an Ironman as an autistic athlete, and also on Jonah and the Running for Autism program. I couldn't be more excited. Because I feel like this program has done so much good for Jonah, and it's time to expand it. It's time to get more kids and more people involved. Now, when we opened this program for participants and asked for people to submit applications to become our first participant, we did not get a lot of applications. It took a while. It took a while to find Jonah, and I get it. We're a new charity. There's a lot of other obstacles involved with people, and questioning whether or not they should apply. But now that we have the track record, and now that this has been so successful, and granted, I don't want to say it's so successful one day before his race, and now that it's going to be out there in public, we want to do more. We want to help more people. We want to expand this program. So right now, I think the idea is to open up the application process to anyone who fits the criteria, ages 15 to 24, we're going to look at that too. It may be expanded, and again, you get all the equipment, and you get matched up with one-on-one with a coach who will help you train for help you create a goal that's achievable for you and your fitness level at the time, and where we think you can grow. And then we will provide the one-on-one coaching to help you get to that goal. That is the idea. That is the thought behind this program. That is what we've done with Jonah, our first participant. That's what we hope to do for other folks that are looking for such a thing. The application process is open. We've reopened it as of today. You can go on the website, ordinarymarathonerfoundation.org. But I tell you, I am really looking forward to this sort of video expose they're going to do in the news. And I really think it's going to spotlight our program and hopefully encourage more people to participate or to apply. And hopefully we can match up more folks with coaching that they can then use to develop themselves into an autistic athlete. Now, that's one other thing that Scott kind of expressed interest in, was just sort of the rebranding of the program. Right now it's called Running for Autism. And I don't pretend to be an expert in this, but as I've done research into the topic of autism, what I found is that there are a lot of sort of issues with verbiage and the things that you can say and the ways that you present autism. And I may even be doing it wrong now. I don't know. And I got to be honest. I'm not one of those people that I don't enjoy the whole "be careful about what you say" thing. I don't. There's certain time periods where it's not acceptable, but appropriate to be mindful of the specific ways you present things. And sometimes I do think that we go overboard, and I'm like, just say what you think, just tell me what you think. But in this point, some of it makes sense to me, and I will give you one example. One of the sort of symbols of autism is the puzzle piece. You see the bumper sticker, right? Autism with the puzzle, and what it presents is that autism is a disease that needs to be fixed, or needs to, you're putting together the puzzle pieces, you're solving some sort of a riddle of a mistake that was made, which is autism. You're trying to correct or, put something together. And I think especially for autistic individuals, what we're finding is, it's not necessarily a problem that gets fixed in all cases. It's sort of almost like you are what you are. They're neurodiverse. They're not the same as everybody. So at a certain point, you have to accept them. You either accept them or you don't. But you try to be accepting. And to them, the puzzle piece symbol. I'm just trying to make a big word for no reason. It's offensive. And I started thinking, if someone told me I was a puzzle piece, and that they were trying to figure me out and put me together, that's kind of offensive. So, all right, I get it. And I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful about that. So, as I speak, just know I'm trying to educate myself and I'm trying to be mindful of things like that. And as such, Scott wanted to rebrand the program and call it something different. And the words we're going to use are actually autistic athletes. And I think it makes sense. So we're going along with it. So the program is going to go from running for autism to actually autistic athletes. The program will be the same. We hope to get more people entering it next year. Into our next phase, which is now open. We don't have a deadline yet as for applications, but we will. That will depend on how fast we get them in. So hopefully, I wish Jonah a ton of luck tomorrow. I hope that this news reporter goes and gets all the great footage that he needs and put together something nice and put us on the map. A really good tribute to our program and our hard work, and I hope that it kind of generates a little bit more interest in this program, because I think it has a lot to offer. And I think just watching Jonah and his success and anticipating his success tomorrow is a great thing, and it comes from a lot of hard work. So thank you to everyone, from the board members to the advisory committee to the donors and anyone who's kind of been involved here. It's been great. To Jonah, his family, and to Jonah himself for working hard. It's just been a great experience so far, hopefully growing. It just feels good, guys. It feels good. A couple other things to announce before we get going on the day. Ordinary Half Marathon starts tomorrow. This is our sort of informal midway race to the Ordinary Marathon, which is in May. You can register at ordinarymarathon.com. Get yourself registered for the for the spring race. Automatically entered into the race that starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow and goes through Sunday. Again, it's informal. We love to see pictures so we can do another slideshow. The slideshow for the Ordinary Marathon, one of the reasons why this podcast took forever to get out was I've been working really hard on that, trying to get it out before the Ordinary Half, and it came out really good. Check it out if you haven't checked it out. It's on our Ordinary Marathoner YouTube channel, which went to 200 subscribers, and someone unsubscribed, so now we're 199. I hate that. So help me out. Hit that subscribe button, and yeah, the slideshow came out good, but we're going to be doing another slideshow for the Ordinary Half. So send us those pictures through your turkey trots and through the weekend, all that training. We want to see it. I'm hoping to use this personally. We're going to talk more about my personal training in upcoming podcasts. Hoping to use this Ordinary Half as a springboard to get my run training back on track. I've said that before. We're going to talk about this, though, in future podcasts. Lastly, Zwift, we're starting on Monday a little project called Ride Every Zwift course. There are 100 of them this winter. So we have a schedule that we put together. We're going to try to do group rides every day, going to try to live stream them when possible. Try to ride every single Zwift course from now until the end of March 31st. We've made an order. Some of them are epic rides. I tried to space them out and make them incrementally more difficult, so the easier ones are front loaded. We'll see how it goes. This is one of those things we came up on as whim. If you want, and you're on Zwift and you want an invite, let me know. I will certainly invite you to our group rides. If you can't make the group rides and you want to join us, just ride the courses on your own. Set up your own group rides. All of it's encouraged. It's just going to be a fun time. Go to the Team Ordinary page on Facebook if you want details, or message me if you have any questions. That's about all I got for you today. Thank you for being patient with us as we kind of went through a little bit of a hiatus here, a little stretch with no podcast. And remember, every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. So get after it, guys.